Hello, this is Domoneec Carmichael, and today I will be discussing the failures of IMS expert services. So, first, I just want to talk about the various dimensions that are used in rating the top companies within the United States. And the dimensions consist of the quality of services provided, the innovation, the quality of the management, the people's management, long-term investment value for the company, social responsibility in the community and the environment for the company, financial soundness of the company, wide use of company assets, and lastly, effectiveness in doing business globally for the company. So, some of the service issues of IMS expert services is that service supply was not prepared for the demand, or the management and leader challenges can cause issues within the service, lack of collaboration among the delivery and sales team, impaired departmental behavior that is not aligned with the core values of the company, and elongated time lapses to fulfill service requests. The many causes of failure within the company. First and foremost, the first cause of failure is inconsistent data within the company. So we work with multiple lawyer firms or law firms, and if the data inputted into our database is not correct, then it can cause confusion, not only within the company, but with giving that information or providing the correct service for the law firm that we are working with. Second, another cause of failure is personal problems reflected in someone's work. So I have actually witnessed a couple of the employees bring personal problems to work. And not only does that affect their work, it can affect the mood of the entire office, and that usually causes a problem as far as getting the work done precisely and making sure everything is up to par with what we need, what we look for in the information in the database. Lastly is inconsistency. If the work isn't consistent, then it's going to be hard to find what the goal of the company is going to be. The consequences of failing to improve the organization can cause confusion for other departments within the organization. My apologies. So confusion for other departments, which means that if we don't improve these problems, then it's just going to be all over the place. There's nothing is going to be organized. Another failure to improve is loss of business. Everybody knows that if you are not improving your business, if you are not doing what it takes to make sure that the business is running successfully, then we know that we can lose everything we work so hard for. It's not even in business. That's just a life fact. Additionally, damaged reputation is also another consequence of failing to improve the organization, because if you have an upscale reputation, everybody knows the company as getting things done promptly, making sure that the community that they work with trust them, everything of that nature. If it's not improved, then people will start looking at the company as going downhill, failing, giving up, everything of that nature. Additionally is loss of market share. Loss of market share. Another consequence of failing to improve the organization is fewer repeat customers and referrals and revenue decline. So if the company is not improving, then we are going to lose money, because people are not going to want to work with us, and people are not going to want to spend their money on us, and they're not going to trust us. We're going to lose that trust with the people we already have relationships with. So moving on, improving organizational functionalities. Ways to do that is changing the management and leadership initiatives, storyboarding of client journey, recommendations for improvement. Nobody can go wrong with trying to improve or asking for help on how they can improve their company. There's nothing wrong with that. People think that when you're in business, you don't want to ask for help. You're supposed to do everything yourself, especially people in leadership positions, when little do they know, if they ask other people, even just employees that are under them, if they ask for advice or recommendations, they can possibly come across an idea that can help build that company. Additionally, increase in collaboration among department heads. So like I just mentioned, when leaders and employees come together, they can most likely come up with ideas that will help flourish the company. Adding additional talent and support to achieve goals. This goes hand in hand, with recommendations for improvement and increasing collaboration amongst department heads. Everybody has a different mindset. Everybody has different talents, and putting those talents and skills and all that knowledge together, it can definitely bring about new ideas that, like I said, can help flourish the company. Lastly, utilizing new systems to automate some processes. There are some systems out there that can automatically input data or anything that you need to put within, like, for collecting data. Moving on, the relevance of conscious culture and management in improving organizational function. The awareness of employee issues can definitely help, is definitely related to conscious culture, because if you are aware of the employee issues, then you can nip that in the bud really quick. You can solve that problem quickly. Addressing department leadership issues goes hand in hand with awareness of employee issues. If you can nip that in the bud really quickly, then that is related to conscious culture and management for improving the organizational function. Additionally, holding leadership to company values and organizational behavior expectations, addressing conflicts immediately. I have witnessed companies ignore issues within the company, and it caused a decline in employees wanting to stay. The turnover rate was outrageous. Leading by example is another relevance of conscious culture and management for improving the organizational function. And lastly, fostering environment of service leadership and stewardship. So I figured that the Coder's 8-step theory is one way to improve IMS expert services. Incorporating the Coder's 8-step is beneficial for improving the company, because the methods can definitely transform the organization and can possibly guarantee continuous positive results. But there are possible challenges to using the Coder's 8-step. Similar situations may occur, and employees are possibly going to lose trust and different forms of credibility since the leaders since the changes that leaders make are either significant or not significant. There are always solutions to challenges that come about in the company. One of the possible solutions is trying to avoid situations coming up again. So if a situation comes up once and you are able to find a solution for that problem, it is likely that you will be able to avoid this challenge coming up again if you already found a solution. Employees should also be listened to. This also goes with what I said about improving organizational functionalities and how companies need to have additional support and to achieve goals and increase collaboration amongst the department heads. So employees are not just there to work for you. Sometimes including employees for resolving solutions can help solve that solution faster, because sometimes leadership literally has nothing to do, and there might be an employee within the company that you overlook because they are not in a leadership position. Lastly, leaders should advise in open discussion, which as a leader, you should be engaging in any open discussion that you have within your company. So the alignment of subsystems of change is also, it can help establish organizational structures. So subsystems refer to smaller groups of employees that work within larger organizational systems. So these subsystems include departments, programs, projects, and teams. And these subsystems help the leader to keep employees updated and ensure that employees and leaders are within the same level, level. And this also, when employees are leaders are collaborating and planning well, this encourages motivation within the company, and it doesn't feel like the company is split into two, basically. So the possible lessons and strategies in the organization is to plan ahead. Planning ahead is very beneficial because it not only does it decrease the chances of a challenge coming about, but it also it ensures that you are prepared for anything that could happen. So failure should always be anticipated. And additionally, you should set up a plan to counter those possible